Do you get lonely?
When I'm on the trip?
Is traveling alone?
No. No.
No.
No. Well, it depends.
I don't ever really get lonely on solo trips.
It can be lonely. It can definitely be lonely.
Sure I do.
I felt lonely at first.
And I think the lonely parts are important too. It can be a time of a lot of growth.
It could be lonely. However, you meet people every single day. You make new friends. You're never alone. You're always with different people. So I wouldn't say it's too lonely.
Because you get to, depends on what you're doing probably. But if you stay at a hostel, you'll meet people there and you'll meet people really easily. So you're never alone unless you want to be.
I feel like every time I've been on a solo trip, I've met more people than I've met when I travel with family or friends. So it's always a very friendly, warm environment when I've been traveling by myself.
I feel like in your head, you're like, oh, this isn't gonna work out or something like that. And something's always gonna go wrong, but like I said, whenever you meet the first person that you click with, you then meet 5 other ones right off the bat.
You're not gonna be lonely, unless you want to be lonely. But if you wanna meet people, you will meet a lot of people. Yeah.
In fact, I get more annoyed on group trips that I wish I was alone than I do when I'm alone and wishing I was with others.
I wouldn't say it's lonely. You are alone, but you make friends so easily. And the moments that you are alone, it's more, for me, a little bit of freedom, recharge.
I think it can be an experience that you do more so by yourself if you choose for it to be. But in terms of it being overwhelmingly lonely or something where you do miss people, I think, in my experience at least, that's never been the case.
You can solo travel in a way where you never spend time by yourself, but I think that's one of the benefits of solo travel is actually learning how to live with yourself.
You might get a little bit lonely, but sometimes being lonely is good. Sometimes you learn the most when you're lonely. So don't be scared of being lonely ever, because that's when you truly learn who you are. You learn who you're really like. So don't be scared about being lonely. Sometimes maybe be worried that you won't get enough time alone because you're always with people doing things, blah, 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 blah. So
You gotta force yourself to be independent and be able to do things yourself and be happy just with yourself instead of happy with other people.
It's like a chance for you to ask the questions and deal with the stuff that's going on underneath, and then you can crowd that out with people if you want. But it's also good to take some time to be in a place of solitude.
I think it's good for people to be comfortable being alone. That's a skill, I think. Maybe people who are less independent can learn to love their own company through a solo trip, because you're like your own buddy. You're there and you're at a museum and you're telling yourself that's so cool instead of turning around and tell somebody else.
Of course, there will be time that you're alone, and those are the moments that you'll think about a lot of things and feel a bit lonely, but yeah, always find a way to cheer yourself up, I think.
There have been points on this trip where I felt lonely, but I've tried to use that loneliness as an opportunity to just sit with it and evaluate why I feel lonely, why am I not able to enjoy my own company.
For sure.
Yeah, and I feel like it just makes you stronger from within.
Yeah.
And so once you start developing that and then using the loneliness as an opportunity for growth, I think it'll just enhance your future experiences.
Yes,
with
for
travel.
sure. But I think it also gives you a lot of time to look inward and reflect with yourself. I find that when I'm walking through the streets, even if I feel lonely, I'm still having a really good time because I'm really getting to know myself better while I'm traveling.
It's freeing in a way because you spend the whole rest of your life, all of your social structure, is with people. And so to take a break from that is more freeing than it is lonely.
I'm forcing myself to sit and appreciate this lonely period. So it's not necessarily that it's a bad lonely, but it can be lonely.
Yeah.
Now, if you're lonely in your everyday life, then I guess taking solo travel could make you more lonely, but probably the opposite. You're probably more lonely sitting at home than you are going out and being alone and making new life experiences.
I don't know. I feel like you can be lonely at home too. I feel like loneliness just masks a deeper issue, you know? So it's like, I don't know, probably gonna deal with that same stuff at home. Like you're just avoiding the deeper inner work that needs to happen. And I feel like solo travel and presenting you with the physical, like the actual loneliness of not having friends around could be good to just go through.
That's awesome.
It doesn't have to last forever. It's just you'll find people. You'll find people, man. It's the dumbest advice.